Hey there. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your meal. I hate to ask, but normally I would go somewhere else to feed. But the city is so busy. But with the festival going on right now, there really isn't a lot of choice for a private venue, so to speak. So, are you okay with sharing this back alley with a fellow vampire? Oh, good. Thank you. So, can I ask the name of the one I will be dining with this evening? I like that name. It really suits you. My name's Chloe. Hey, I've fed here many times before, and I've never seen you around here. Are you new in town? Oh, I see. You and your sire passing through. Where is your sire, by the way? I don't sense any other vampires. You're on your own. That's a little odd. So this is your first solo hunt, huh? How old are you? 5? You've been a vampire for 5 years and you've never fed on your own before? I'm sorry. It's just shocking to me, that's all. I was hunting on my own by the time I was 2. Though the world was a very different place for our kind back then. Back then, the truth was, if you were not strong enough, you were not permitted to survive. It was all too common for young vampires to die before their first decade. No, don't get me wrong. Hunters were, and still are, a problem. But actually, the main killer of a young vampire was another, usually older vampire. Territory disputes were all too common back then, and they often ended in bloodshed. Huh? Oh, no. This was a long time ago. Territory disputes of any kind are handled by the Regional Paladin Encounter Council. Besides, cities and urban areas can't be owned by a single incanter or a group of incanters of any kind. So, vampires often don't have territorial feeding grounds like they once did. The point I was trying to, and admittedly taking way too long to say, was I was forced to learn fast if I wanted to survive. Yes, I am an elder vampire. What was it that gave me away? Was it my story from ages long since past? Or was it the more obvious clue? Yeah, I figured it was the hair. Why, thank you. You know, when it first changed to this deep, dark black color, I hated it. I didn't think it was beautiful at all. I miss my old hair color, the one I had since I was human. It wasn't until a couple of weeks later that the moon was bright enough to reflect the light, and I finally got to see that shimmer look vampire hair is so famous for. Like moonlight catching the ripples on the dark waters of a lake. I grew to like it. Oh, I knew my hair was going to change, but I was at least hoping for the moonshine hair, like my sire had. That bright white color, like freshly fallen snow that seemed to almost glow in the moonlight. But instead, I got starshine hair. You know, there's an old vampire legend that says an elder vampire gifted with moonshine hair will become a great warrior, but the one gifted with starshine hair would become a great leader. I'm not sure how much stock I put into that particular tale. The color you get is most likely based on whether your hair was darker or lighter as a human, or maybe another natural influence. But it's kind of cool to think that there may be something more to it. Like you're destined for something greater, or maybe it's more like a goal you're supposed to reach. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on about the color of my hair, and I'm keeping you from your meal. You know, you may very well be the first person to actually tell me they don't mind listening to me talk. So, this is your first solo hunt then, huh? And your sire didn't come with you? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I understand now. Your sire has been trying to get you to feed on your own for a while, but each time you get nervous. Take too long until he just gives in and gets the blood for you. Am I correct so far? Okay. So now he just sent you out on your own for the night, hoping that you would be forced to and get over your anxiety about live feeding. So that's why you seem so nervous. And here I thought you were just scared of me or something. Hey, no, don't be sorry. Yeah, I do remember. Even after 200 years, there are certain points or milestones that I don't easily forget. Even if some of them I'd rather not remember, at least not so vividly. What I did was I kept a journal, religiously in fact. Anything that I thought at the time may be important to remember later, I wrote down. So whenever I would look back and read those words, the sounds, the smells, they would all seem to come rushing back as if they had happened yesterday. I found that if the words are written with care, then they have a magic all their own, in a way. But, returning to your question, yes, I do remember. I remember how it felt. At first it felt wrong to use humans like that, to control and manipulate another person so easily. You get into their minds and take control like a doll rather than a living being. And then to feed, to steal the essence of their own life, the need to feed on another. It made me feel like a feral animal rather than a person. But worse still, a part of me enjoyed it. The taste of the warm blood, the feel of my fangs digging into their neck, the strength and energy I got when I fed, it felt so good. There was a sense that I shouldn't like this, that it was wrong to feel good. And so I felt ashamed. And what makes it harder is that we can't exactly ask for permission. You know, with us being mythological beings and the secrecy and all, it just added to the guilt. No, I don't see it as a weakness. Not at all. Really, it just means you care, that you have empathy. You need them to survive, but that doesn't mean you don't understand their fear. And that can be hard. I think it's much harder to care than to give in and become the monster that many see us as. You know, for centuries, people have been afraid of vampires and everything we can do. But what people don't realize is that sometimes vampires are afraid of themselves too. No, I wouldn't say it gets easier. And honestly, I'm not sure I would want it to. If it got easier, then it would mean I didn't care anymore. But I will say, it eventually begins to feel more natural, I guess. It doesn't mean there's nothing you can do about it. There is, but it takes work and practice. Well, what you have to do is give them a good time. Yeah, okay, that's not what I meant. No, I was not going there. When you mesmerize them, to calm them down and eventually wipe their memories, well, instead of wiping their memories completely, what you can do is give them a new memory, a new experience, if you will. How? In the same way you take away their memory, you can give them a new one. It actually helps to answer the questions of what happened and where was I for the human, and it acts as a payment of sorts for, shall we call it, the services they give to us. It at least takes away a little bit of the guilt. The power of suggestion can be incredibly strong, and that fact is compounded when you're a vampire. But to really have an impact, vampires need to become storytellers. We tell them a story that feels real, one they want to be real, one they can imagine themselves being a part of. It doesn't have to be some grand epic adventure either. The story could be about meeting someone special, maybe gaining the courage to talk to someone they like, or getting closer to someone they already know. It can be funny, dramatic, romantic, anything that makes them feel empowered, strong, brave, or it can bring them love, comfort, relaxation. Especially after a long day, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel important. You would be very surprised what a sweet talking voice and a good imagination can do. No. It's not really lying to them. Something can be true, but not real. There is a difference between the two. What I mean is, the experience can be real. If the human enjoys the story you tell and gets real emotions and feelings from it, then it becomes real to them. I'll be the first to admit it does take practice and patience. Though I can share with you some tricks and tips I've learned. Well, first, humans like it if you talk softly, sometimes even a whisper, as if you were a close friend. They want to feel comforted and safe. As we talk to them, they need to become calm and relaxed. This also helps to keep the blood flowing slowly and controlled, and without the taste of adrenaline. I also suggest to feed slowly and carefully. In my experience, some humans actually enjoy the experience a bit. At least, that's what I get from their facial expressions. We take only what we need, not too much as to cause them harm, but just enough. Well, it takes some practice, but it's not hard to tell if you've taken too much blood. You listen to their heartbeat. If it becomes weaker, then you've taken enough. It really doesn't matter if you yourself have had enough to eat. You can always pick up another human if you need. The important thing is to make sure that the human's life is not threatened. But most of all, when you talk to them, when you're crafting their new memory, make them feel important, like they matter. Oh, and one more thing. If you're not enjoying the story yourself, neither will the human you are telling it to. I mean, why should they? Yeah, it's not so bad once you get the hang of it. I wouldn't say I'm perfect at it by any means, but each day I'm trying to be a little better. I want to be better. And in this way, I feel like I'm giving something back. You know, we've been sitting here chatting this entire time. Meanwhile, our dinners are just sitting there patiently, waiting. Well, I think we've kept these too long enough. Perhaps we should get to our meal then? All right then.